My girlfriend asked for an open relationship. I watched her slip away and found. Imagine your perfect life, a future you've dreamed of, shattered by 6 words over dinner. 6 words that felt like a betrayal, a punch to the gut. What about trying an open relationship? My world imploded that night. 4 years. Sophie and I were that couple. The one everyone looked at and thought, wow, they've got it all figured out. I'm 28. She's 27. We'd been together for 3 amazing years, living under the same roof for 2. And honestly, everything felt perfect. I was even caught checking out engagement rings online during my lunch break. Yeah, that kind of normal, happy, headed for forever story. We met through mutual friends, a casual board game night. She laughed at my terrible jokes. I admired her ruthless competitiveness in Monopoly, and just like that, we clicked. It felt effortless right from the start. Sharing an apartment after a year was just natural. Our life together was a comfortable, beautiful rhythm. Lazy Sunday morning pancakes, evening strolls in the park, even enduring her god-awful reality TV shows while I zoned out on my phone. She's a brilliant marketer. I manage building projects. Our families loved each other. My mom adored Sophie. Her dad invited me to football games every other weekend. We were the poster children for relationship goals, the kind that made people believe in love. Then, one Tuesday, everything changed. We were having dinner, a perfectly ordinary evening. Sophie was chatting about a work project, and I was halfway through my sandwich when, out of nowhere, she casually dropped the bomb. Hey, what would you think about trying an open relationship? My fork froze midair. My jaw probably hit the table. I just stared at her, certain I'd misheard. But she kept going, animatedly. She'd been reading about it online, apparently. How it could help us grow, strengthen our relationship, that many couples were trying it. My first, visceral reaction, of course, was, is there someone specific you want to date? Because let's be real, when does this conversation ever not start with someone else already in mind? She immediately got defensive. No, it's not about anyone else. I just think it would be good for us to explore ourselves more. We're still young, and I don't want us to wake up in 10 years wondering what we missed out on. My mind was racing, trying to make sense of it all. This was the same woman who'd get upset if a waitress smiled at me for too long, now suggesting we explore other people. It was like someone proposing we try a different restaurant, but it was our entire life on the menu. I asked her, my voice barely a whisper, have you been unhappy? Did I miss something? Not at all, she insisted, reaching across the table to squeeze my hand. I love you. I love us. This isn't about being unhappy. It's about making our relationship even better. Think about it. We could both have new experiences, but still come home to each other. Lots of couples say it makes their connection stronger. My mind was a complete blank, just a swirling mess of confusion and pure panic. My appetite vanished. The delicious food in front of me might as well have been cardboard. But Sophie, she was glowing. She rattled on about norms, boundaries, communication, but all I could hear was a deafening siren in my head screaming, where is this coming from? And then, the weakest word I've ever uttered escaped my lips. Okay. I know. It sounds pathetic. But it wasn't because I wanted this, or because I believed for a second it would strengthen anything. It was because the desperate plea in her eyes, the way she leaned in, practically screaming for my approval, it told me she'd already made up her mind. Saying no felt like slamming a door in her face, a door she was already halfway through. Are you sure you're okay with this? She asked, her eyes wide with a strange mix of anxiety and anticipation, as if she were giving me a real choice. We don't have to if you're not comfortable. But I saw right through it. This wasn't a choice, it was a formality. I knew, deep down, something fundamental was shifting between us, whether I liked it or not. And to figure out what the hell was truly going on, I felt I had no option but to play along. No, it's fine. I nodded, the lie tasting like ash. If you think it'll be good for us, we can try it. In that moment, I stepped into a nightmare I didn't believe in, already feeling her slip away. She practically vibrated with excitement. Immediately, she launched into how we could set up dating app profiles together, how we'd notify each other about upcoming dates, details she seemed to have already meticulously planned. I just sat there, a hollow ache in my chest, wondering, how long has she been planning this? How long has she been hiding this from me? The rest of that night was surreal, a twisted parody of our usual comfort. We watched TV, just like any other evening, but my mind was a tornado. Sophie cuddled close on the couch, acting as if she hadn't just detonated a bomb in our relationship. A part of me screamed to rewind time, to tell her I wasn't okay with this, that I was miserable. But the words just wouldn't come. Every time she looked at her phone, a small, secret smile playing on her lips, a cold dread coiled in my gut. I'd made a terrible mistake. That night, sleep was a cruel stranger. Sophie lay beside me, peaceful, almost serene, while I stared at the ceiling, tormented. I wanted to shake her awake, scream that I didn't want to share her, that I wanted her, just her. But a deeper, darker fear held me captive. What if she'd do it anyway? What if she'd just leave me if I said no? I replayed every recent conversation, searching for clues, any sign I'd missed. Was she bored? Was I not enough? Was there someone else, lurking in the shadows? The questions pounded in my head, unanswered, relentless. And I had no idea, absolutely no idea, that this was only the terrifying beginning. The humiliation started almost immediately. Sophie, with an unsettling cheerfulness, asked me to help her pick photos for her Tinder and Bumble profiles. Like a loving partner, she asked me to take new pictures of her. Yes, seriously. I stood there, camera in hand, trying to capture her best angles, knowing these photos were for other men. My own profile. I made one, just to show I was trying. But my heart wasn't in it. Every word of a potential bio felt fake, disgusting. Looking for fun while dating. The thought made me sick. I knew, and I think she knew, I wasn't going to meet anyone. I told her countless times I'm not social. I don't have the time or energy for this. Maybe she just wanted to date around, using me as a comfortable safety net, a backup plan for when she was done exploring. Sophie, naturally, got matches instantly. She's beautiful, charming, full of life. But what truly shocked me was the speed. Within a single week, she had 3 dates lined up. 3. She flashed their profiles in my face, like we were critiquing celebrities. Look at this one. He's a personal trainer at that fancy gym downtown. We're getting coffee tomorrow. My stomach twisted into knots, but I just nodded, forcing a smile, pretending this was all perfectly normal. The first time she dressed for a date, it was a gut punch. I'd never seen some of those clothes before. She bought new outfits just for them. An hour in front of the mirror, meticulous makeup, hair perfect. She twirled out of our bedroom, eyes sparkling. How do I look? Great. I choked out, knowing that dress probably cost more than she spent on our own date nights. She came home late, laughing, her voice echoing in our quiet apartment. I feigned sleep, but I heard her texting for an hour after she finally came to bed. The next morning, she hummed happily, brewing coffee, acting as if everything in our world was perfectly, wonderfully fine. I watched her schedule fill up. Monday, coffee with the gym guy. Wednesday, dinner with a lawyer. Friday, drinks with a food truck owner. A fascinating variety, I thought bitterly. Each time, she'd come home radiating pure joy, clearly having the time of her life. I sank to new lows, I admit it. I checked the Instagram location she'd tag. One night, I even drove by the restaurant where she said she was having dinner. There she was, at the bar, laughing with a tall, suit-clad man. Her hand rested on his arm, and she was looking at him with that look, the same look she used to reserve for me. The distance between us grew into a chasm. But the change in her at home, that was even worse than seeing her with other men. Less time with me, no more cuddles, just endless texting, that constant glow from her phone. Our sacred Sunday pancake ritual? Gone. Replaced by brunch with the girls. One evening, I tried to approach it gently. Don't you think you're going on a lot of dates? I asked, trying to sound casual. She just blinked at me, as if I were a complete idiot. That's the whole point of an open relationship, isn't it? To meet new people and have experiences. You should try it too. I can help you with your profile if you want. But I didn't want help with a profile. I wanted my girlfriend back. I wanted the Sophie who loved ordering pizza and watching terrible movies with me, not this polished, always dressed up stranger who was always leaving. One night, as she primed for date number 6, or maybe 7. I completely lost count. I snapped. I couldn't stand another second. I bolted out the door, desperate for air, for anything to clear my head. I ended up at a quiet picnic spot, sitting there for 2 hours, watching my entire life crumble around me. My phone buzzed. It was Sophie. "Hope you're okay. Don't wait up. Having such a great time." Each message was a fresh twist of a knife. The next day, she blithely started telling me about her date, how hilarious he was, how he'd taken her to this amazing new restaurant. I couldn't take it. I stood up and walked out of the room. She followed, looking genuinely bewildered. "I thought you were okay with this," she asked, genuinely shocked. "Yeah," I answered, my voice flat. "Maybe I'm not." "But you could be dating too," she retorted. "You're choosing to stay home and be miserable." And that's when it hit me. A brutal, crushing realization. She didn't get it. She didn't understand that I didn't want more dates. I wanted her. The old her. The one who loved our perfectly boring, normal life together. 3 weeks. 3 agonizing weeks of watching her dress up for other men, of lying awake, consumed by thoughts of where she was, what she was doing, and who she was with. My mind was a prison of doubt and pain. I kept waiting for her to wake up, to see how ridiculous this was, to realize what she was throwing away. But she never did. She felt no guilt, no hesitation. Instead, she beamed with pride, as if she discovered some enlightened level of dating that I was simply too unenlightened to grasp. The worst part was, I couldn't fathom why. If she loved me, if she liked our life, why burn it all down? Why claim it wasn't enough? It finally clicked. This wasn't fixable. There was no going back. The end was irreversible. And for the first time, I wasn't sure I even cared. A fierce, defiant spark ignited within me. The thought of her living her life, carefree, while I drowned in misery? Unacceptable. I wanted her to regret every single second of this, to truly understand what she'd lost. I didn't have a plan yet, but one thing was crystal clear. I wasn't going to suffer in silence while she had her fun. I just needed to talk to someone who would see how utterly messed up this was. By the way, if you're still with me through this emotional roller coaster, and you're curious about what happens next, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You won't want to miss the wild twists and turns coming your way. That's when Emma started showing up more often. Emma, Sophie's best friend since freshman year of college. She was the kind of person who'd always been there, movie nights, helping us move furniture, showing up with homemade soup when one of us was sick. Just genuinely good. Being a kindergarten teacher suited her perfectly. She had this way of making everyone feel heard, seen, important. I'd always seen her simply as Sophie's friend, despite her striking long brown hair, bright green eyes, and that perpetual warm smile. She was firmly in the buddy zone for me. Plus, she'd been dating Mark for 2 years, though they'd broken up a few months prior. Her first visit after Sophie's open relationship announcement was innocuous enough she needed to borrow mixing bowls for a birthday cake. Sophie, of course, was out with a new guy. Emma took one look at me and cut straight to it. "You look terrible," she said, her concern obvious. "What's going on?" I hadn't intended to spill everything, but it all just poured out. How Sophie had sprung this open relationship on me, how she was out dating different men practically every night, leaving me here feeling utterly insane. Emma just sat there listening, truly listening, not just waiting for her turn to speak. When I finally finished, she shook her head slowly. "That's not an open relationship," she said, her voice gentle but firm. "That's just Sophie doing whatever she wants without caring how it affects you." Hearing those words, that validation from someone else, it was like a massive weight lifted. I wasn't crazy. After that, Emma started coming over more and more, usually when Sophie was out on a date. We'd watch movies, order takeout, just exist in comfortable silence or talk for hours. Having someone there, someone who actually understood, who saw me in this chaotic situation, it was a lifeline. Then came the confession. One night, after a month of Sophie exploring, Emma looked deeply troubled. She started fiddling with her necklace, a nervous habit I'd come to recognize. "I need to tell you something," she whispered, her voice barely audible from across the couch. "And it might make things really weird between us, but I just can't keep pretending anymore. My stomach did a strange flip, a sudden jolt. I think, deep down, I knew what was coming. "I've had feelings for you for a long time," she said, wringing her hands. Since before you and Sophie even got together. But you were with her, and she's my best friend. So I never said anything. I started dating Mark, hoping it would help me get over you, but she trailed off. It didn't work. I just sat there, trying to process it. Emma, sweet, funny, kind Emma, had feelings for me. How could I have been so utterly blind? She was the one who helped me pick out meaningful gifts for Sophie, while Sophie herself was questioning the meaning of our entire relationship. Sophie rarely texted to check in, but Emma brought me homemade chicken soup when I was sick. Was I truly that oblivious? "You don't have to say anything," she rushed to add, seeing my stunned silence. "I just needed you to know. Watching Sophie treat you like this, seeing how much it's hurting you, it's been killing me. You deserve so much better than this." I looked at her then, truly looked at her. Her green eyes shone in her simple, modest green sweater. Her hair was pulled back in an easy, slightly messy bun that somehow made her even more beautiful. How had I never noticed this? But even as I felt a profound shift, Sophie's actions still haunted me. She genuinely believed I'd just wait, like a loyal, pathetic idiot, while she paraded around with different men. She saw me as her safety net, always there when she eventually got bored. And that, right there, was her biggest mistake. She was out there doing exactly what she wanted, assuming I'd simply be waiting when she decided to come home. No, that chapter was closed. I was done playing by her rules. This game, it was about my happiness now. I took a deep, shaky breath, feeling a profound shift. This was the moment I took charge. "Emma," I said, surprised by the sudden steadiness of my own voice. She moved closer on the couch. "I know this is complicated," she continued, "and I know I'm probably making everything worse by telling you this, but seeing you so unhappy these past few weeks, I just couldn't stay quiet anymore." Then, she leaned in and kissed me. I should have stopped. I should have thought about Sophie, about their friendship, about the unimaginable mess this would create. But I didn't. I kissed her back. And it wasn't just a kiss. We ended up sleeping together. This felt different. Emma saw me. She genuinely liked me. She noticed the shifts in my expression, asked what I was thinking, and actually cared. Lying there in the dark afterwards, I tried to process it. How far things had gone. How utterly everything had changed. Knowing I had slept with my girlfriend's best friend, it should have felt like crossing an unforgivable line. But all I could feel was how good it was. This wasn't a meaningless rebound, not an impulsive mistake. She turned, propping herself up on an elbow, looking at me. "What are we going to do?" she asked, her voice quiet but steady. I sighed, staring up at the ceiling. I should have felt guilt, conflict, confusion. But all I felt was an overwhelming sense of relief. After weeks of suffocating in Sophie's wreckage, I could finally breathe. "I don't know," I admitted. Emma paused, then asked, "I don't regret it, do you?" That insane question. And the answer, clear as day, no. Not even for a second. For the first time since this whole open relationship tragedy began, I saw things with perfect clarity. Our demise wasn't my fault. I hadn't broken trust first. Maybe, just maybe, I deserve someone who wanted me, just me. "Sophie's going to lose it when she finds out," Emma remarked. "Probably," I agreed. "But isn't it funny how she thinks it's perfectly fine for her to date other people, but the idea of you doing the same would drive her absolutely crazy?" She had a point. And then a thought struck me. Maybe Sophie needed to take her own medicine. I didn't tell Sophie about Emma immediately. A part of me, a small, petty part forged in weeks of pain, wanted to watch her squirm, to react to hints first. After seeing her flaunt her dates for so long, I thought she deserved a taste of her own medicine. After Emma left, Sophie returned from Jessica's place, which, let's be honest, was probably Jason's. She chattered on about her girls' night while pouring coffee. And then, I dropped the first hint. "Oh, Emma stopped by last night," I said casually. Sophie's hand, gripping the coffee pot, froze. "Emma was here. Yeah, we hung out for a while. She's really easy to talk to, you know." Sophie dropped her coffee mug onto the counter a little too hard, spilling some. "What did you guys talk about?" "Oh, just stuff," I shrugged, feigning nonchalance. Life, relationships, feelings. It was nice. Her expression was absolutely priceless. The next hour, she spent covertly texting someone, probably trying to get information from Emma, all while pretending to watch TV with me. Every few minutes, she'd glance at me, trying to dissect what had happened. Over the next 3 days, I kept dropping Emma's name into conversation. Emma thought that was hilarious. Emma really gets me. I mentioned our texts. Sophie's face would tighten, a visible struggle to control her reaction. One morning, as I smiled at my phone, emailing Emma, Sophie practically darted across the couch. "Who are you texting?" she demanded, failing spectacularly at sounding casual. "Oh, just Emma," I replied. "She's really into this new show I recommended." Sophie forced a brittle smile, but her eyes were filled with anguish. "You guys have been talking a lot lately." "Yeah, she's great to talk to. Really gets me, you know." Soon, I'd catch her checking my phone whenever I left it lying around. She thought she was being sneaky, but I always saw her scrolling through my texts when I stepped into the bathroom or kitchen. The funny part? I'd removed all overtly Emma-related evidence. I just left enough pleasant, intriguing texts to drive her absolutely insane with suspicion. Then, she started showing up at places she knew I'd be. I'd mentioned getting coffee at a cafe near work, and suddenly, there she was. Or I'd say I was meeting friends at a bar, and an hour later, she'd appear, claiming she was just in the neighborhood. And the best part? Her dates started getting canceled. She suddenly wanted to be home more. Let's watch movies. Let's cook dinner together. It was like watching a desperate animal mark its territory without ever admitting why. Finally, after many failed attempts to draw me closer, attempts I expertly blocked, she snapped. "Are you seeing someone else? Isn't that kind of the point of an open relationship?" I asked, raising an eyebrow. "To see other people? Yeah, but who is it? Is it Emma? Are you sleeping with Emma?" I just looked at her. I thought we weren't supposed to share details about our other partners. "Isn't that what you said when I asked about your dates?" Sophie faltered. Her eyes widened. She frantically checked my Instagram, my likes, my online interactions. She obsessively scrolled through Emma's social media posts and stories. The final blow came when Emma posted a selfie at the coffee shop where I get my morning coffee. Sophie immediately called me, her voice shrill. "Are you with Emma right now?" "Sophie, I'm at work." "But you always get coffee at that place in the morning. Did you meet her there?" I let her panic for a beat, then said, "That coffee shop has like 1,000 customers every day. People can go to the same coffee shop without it meaning anything." But Sophie wasn't convinced. After weeks of coming home late from dates and never telling me who she was with, she now demanded to know my every move, every person I saw, everything I did. Emma just laughed when I told her about Sophie's increasingly unhinged behavior. We started meeting discreetly at Emma's house, so Sophie wouldn't see us. My lingering doubts about being with Emma quickly vanished, replaced by a profound sense of justification. She really can't handle not being in control, can she? Emma mused one night on her couch. "Nope," I confirmed. And the best part? She can't even complain about it without admitting she never actually wanted an open relationship. She just wanted permission to cheat. One night, Sophie switched tactics entirely. She dropped another bomb, one that completely changed the game. "I think we should close the relationship again," she said, sitting on our couch, looking serious and anxious. The same woman who had been dating half the city for weeks was now proposing we focus on us, acting like she was doing me a favor. "I think we've explored enough," she murmured, reaching for my hand. I pulled it away. "We could go back to how things were before," she continued. "Just you and me." A dry, humorless laugh escaped my lips. "Just you and me?" I scoffed. "Like the past few weeks never even happened?" "Well, yeah," she replied, genuinely confused by my reaction. "Isn't that what you wanted? You haven't seemed happy with the open relationship." I decided then and there to stop playing games. "You're right," I said, my voice cutting through her pretense. "I haven't been happy. Not while watching my girlfriend go on dates with a new guy every other night, barely acknowledging my existence." Her face tried to contort into an empathetic expression, but she failed miserably. "I know it was hard for you," she pushed on. But that's why I'm saying we should close things up again. We can work on ourselves, work on us. Work on us, I repeated, a cold edge to my voice. Like how you've been working on getting to know half the guys in this city. That's not fair, she retorted defensively. You agreed to the open relationship. You could have been dating too. Oh, I responded, meeting her gaze steadily. I have been. Sophie went absolutely ashen. What? Who? She stammered, truly pale. Does it matter? I pressed. Isn't that what you wanted? Both of us exploring and having new experiences. She practically leapt from the couch. Of course it matters. Who the hell is it? How long? Her eyes widened, a terrifying realization dawning. It's Emma, isn't it? I just sat there, letting her accusation hang in the air. It is Emma, isn't it? That's why you've been talking about her so much. That's why she's been avoiding my calls. My best friend, she shrieked. I leaned back, a bitter smirk playing on my lips. Isn't it funny? I said, my voice dangerously calm. How you're allowed to sleep with whoever you want, but the moment I do the same, it's a problem. But it's Emma, she wailed, tears streaming down her face. She's my best friend. You can't sleep with my best friend. I stood up, looking her dead in the eye. Actually, I said, I can. And I did. Sophie froze. She stared at me, her face a mask of disbelief. What did you just say? I slept with Emma, I repeated, letting each word sink in. Multiple times, actually. And you know what? It was great. She actually cares about my feelings, which is more than I can say for you lately. Her face transformed from disbelief to pure, unadulterated rage in seconds. You're lying. Emma would never do that to me. Really? I challenged. Because she did. And want to know something else? She's had feelings for me for years. Even when she was dating Mark, she was thinking about me. You're lying to hurt me. Sophie cried, but I saw the flicker of doubt in her eyes. I'm not, I said. And then, I saw the exact moment of realization hit her. Remember last Thursday, when you were out with that startup guy? Sophie nodded slowly, her face pale. Emma came over. We talked for hours, and then we slept together. She sees me as a person, Sophie, not just some backup plan waiting at home while you live your best life. Sophie frantically grabbed her phone, probably to call Emma. Emma would never. Check your texts with her, I urged. Notice her recent distance, her unresponsiveness. That's why. She scrolled through her phone, her fingers trembling, likely seeing Emma's ignored messages and curt replies in a terrifying new light. This can't be happening, she whispered, collapsing onto the couch. This isn't how this was supposed to go. Really? I scoffed. How was it supposed to go? You party with other guys while I stay home, the loyal boyfriend? Was it impossible that I would find someone else? Not Emma. No, Emma, she shrieked. You knew it would hurt. Did I know it would hurt? I shouted back, finally unleashing weeks of pent-up anger. How much have you wounded me? Did you ever consider how it felt to watch you dress up for other guys, come home late smelling of someone else's fragrance, and barely even look at me? That was different, she protested. Those guys didn't mean anything. Oh, so while you had meaningless hookups, I snarled. I developed serious affections for someone who actually values me. You wanted me to feel the heat you gave me. Look at me, Sophie. Real feelings. True sentiments. Emma and I go beyond physical. We talk. We laugh. We genuinely care about each other. When was the last time we talked about something other than your dating life or new experiences? Sophie slumped, utterly defeated, onto the couch. What are you saying? She whimpered. You want to be with Emma. This whole open relationship thing, I said, my voice unwavering. It revealed my true desires. It showed me what I actually want in a partner. Someone who doesn't ignore me. And then she started to cry. Big, dramatic sobs. A month ago, those tears would have broken me. But now, all I could think was, she never cried like this over how much she wounded me. We can fix this, she sobbed. We can go back to how things were. I shook my head, a finality in the gesture. We can't, because now I know what it's like to be valued. And I won't settle for less. Then, something I didn't expect. Sophie stormed out, grabbing her keys. I'm going to Emma's place, she spat. To sort this out once and for all. She slammed the door, and I immediately grabbed my phone to warn Emma. I told her Sophie was coming, and Emma, calm as ever, just said, "Let her come." That's Emma for you. Nothing truly shakes her. I offered to come over, to support her, but she refused. "No," Emma said firmly. "I have to handle this. She's been my best friend for 10 years. I owe her that much." I spent the next hour pacing our apartment, checking my phone every 2 minutes. The air felt thick, heavy, like before a huge storm. Finally, Emma called. Her voice was shaky, but surprisingly steady. She came screaming, Emma recounted. My neighbors undoubtedly heard everything. She kept screaming about how I betrayed her, how I was a bad friend, how we planned this. "What did you say?" I asked. "I told her the truth," Emma replied. "That I've had feelings for you for years, but never acted on them because she was my friend. But watching her treat you like garbage these last few weeks, it made me realize she never deserved us. Our relationship wasn't some grand intention, but I don't regret it." Sophie, apparently, did not like that. Emma said she tried to force her way into the apartment, claiming she needed to see if I was there, accusing Emma of hiding me. "She's completely lost it," Emma added. Sophie then reeled off every random occasion we'd hung out. Our group movie nights. When Emma brought me soup when I had the flu. Even when Emma helped me move a couch last year when Sophie was too busy. To Sophie, it was all evidence of a calculated affair, a sneaky plot months in the making. She started crying, Emma said, sliding down her doorframe, claiming she never intended this. Emma's neighbor even checked on her. It was humiliating. After Mrs. Chun threatened to call the police over the disturbance, Sophie finally left, telling Emma she'd ruined everything and would never forgive her. Sophie returned to our house about 20 minutes after my call with Emma. She looked absolutely wretched. She walked in, saw me on my phone sending updates to Emma, and completely lost it. "Are you texting her now? Planning your next secret meeting? Since when have you two been laughing at me behind my back?" "Sophie," I said, my voice devoid of emotion. "No one's laughing at you. You did this to yourself. I didn't do anything. I suggested an open relationship to strengthen us," she cried, tossing her pocketbook across the room. "I never told you to sleep with my best friend." "No," I countered. "You just wanted permission to sleep with whoever you wanted, while keeping me as your backup plan." She started grabbing our photos and gifts, stuffing them into a box. "I'm staying with Jessica," she announced, my true friend. Someone who wouldn't backstab me. "Fine by me," I replied, watching her. "Take whatever you want." That stopped her cold. She paused, looking at me, completely taken aback. You're not even going to try to stop me?" "Why would I?" I asked. "You've made it clear you value something other than me or our relationship." She stopped packing and sank onto the couch, visibly shrinking, her face drawn. "I believed you would always be there," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "That no matter who I dated, you'd be there when I settled down." The truth, finally. She wanted to experiment, to live her carefree life, and I was her safety net, her guaranteed happy ending. "Well, you guessed wrong," I informed her, my voice firm. "I'm not a puppy waiting by the door while you have your fun. I have emotions. I deserve more than second place." "But you weren't my second pick," she wailed. "I adore you." "No, Sophie," I corrected her gently. "You adore having me around when it's convenient. There's a difference." Her wailing resumed, but I felt nothing. No desire to soothe her, no guilt, just emptiness. "I'll get the rest of my stuff tomorrow," she said, picking up her box. "I can't be here right now." After she finally left, I called Emma. Just hearing her voice was enough to calm the storm raging inside me. We talked for hours that night, about Sophie, about ourselves, about what the future might look like. We knew some of their mutual friends were already taking sides, most of them branding Emma a backstabber, without knowing a single thing about the full story. "I don't care," Emma said, her voice resolute. "Let them think what they want. I know the reality." In my now half-empty apartment, I noticed all of Sophie's things were gone. And honestly, I felt relief, like I could finally breathe again. I urged Emma, "Come over. Settle in with me." And she said yes. I was done caring about anything else. The next morning, Sophie returned to pick up the rest of her belongings. She brought Jessica and 2 other unfamiliar friends with her. Sophie had clearly fed them her version of the story, because they all looked at me with open disdain, as if I were the villain. "I bought your Xbox for your birthday," she remarked, unplugging it with a flourish. "Fine," I said, genuinely not caring anymore. "Take it." Emma arrived halfway through the packing, having read between the lines when I texted her about getting coffee. Sophie's pals immediately started whispering when Emma walked in, but Emma ignored them completely. She walked straight over to me and offered me my coffee. "Really?" Sophie snapped, her voice tight with fury. "You're going to flaunt this?" "Nobody's flaunting anything," Emma replied, her gaze firm. "I'm just here to support my boyfriend." Neither of us had used that word before. Boyfriend. Sophie looked like she'd been slapped. After that, the packing accelerated. Her companions practically rushed around, gathering belongings, clearly wanting to get Sophie out before another meltdown. When they were finally done, Sophie stood in the doorway, a ghost of her former self. "I really loved you," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "No," I said, my voice steady. "You liked having me on call. There's a difference." After they departed, Emma helped me tidy up the mess. "You okay?" she asked, watching me put Sophie's remaining forgotten items into a donation box. "Yeah," I said, a genuine smile finally reaching my eyes. "First time in months, I am." 2 weeks later, life is utterly transformed. For the better. Emma and I are taking things slow, deliberately, making sure we're doing it right. Last weekend, we had coffee at what used to be Sophie's favorite restaurant. Some of our old friends completely ignored us. Emma just smiled, squeezed my hand, and in that moment, I knew I had made the right choice. Sophie, naturally, is still telling everyone her version of the story, how I cheated, how Emma betrayed her, how we always desired each other. Some people believe her, but the important people, they know the truth. Just yesterday, Emma brought over some of her kindergartner's artwork to decorate my fridge. "It's too empty," she said, her eyes warm. And in those colorful crayon drawings, I saw something profound, my deepest wish. Someone who notices the little details. Someone who cares about making my place feel like home. Someone who brings me coffee just because I hadn't answered her text, instead of getting mad. We spent that evening grading her class papers, watching her new favorite mystery show. Simple. Normal. Real. Looking back, Sophie's open relationship suggestion, as devastating as it was, almost felt helpful. Not because it was a good idea. It absolutely wasn't, but because it ripped away the facade and revealed my ideal companion. Someone who picks me first. Not just when it's convenient, or when I'm her backup plan. That's the crazy thing about life, isn't it? Sometimes, the worst choices, the most painful betrayals, can lead you to the most beautiful, unexpected places. For me, it led me right to the person who was always there, truly seeing me. Emma's reading this over my shoulder, chuckling at my description of her. She's constantly happy, by the way. She says hello. "So, tell me what you think. What would you have done in my place? Have you ever had to choose your own happiness when it meant letting go of someone you thought was your forever?" I really want to hear your stories in the comments below.